Yo, what's happening, world? Name's Raheem Flowers, and y'all already know I'm amped up. 2026 and beyond. There's a lot to unpack. Between what transpired with Corey Holcomb and Anton Daniels, between what went on with Tucker Carlson making his commentary about Tariq and FBA, and, I heard Suburban Whiny Pete, Sarge's Wizard Kelly's face ass, made yet another video about Nefertari Dessalines. Now, mind you, this was approximately 2 months and some change ago, but he made a video about Pan-Africanism and it not being actionable. But let me start off by talking about the OG comedian, Southside, Robert Taylor home, Chicago, DJ Ferris voice. The Chicago, nigga! So Corey Holcomb, Chicago versus Detroit. Woo! You know. Corey and Anton seemingly got into a scuffle. And everybody was talking about how Anton deserves it, and Anton is a sissy, Anton is a bootlicking coon, Anton is a tap dancer, buck dancer, he's a Sambo, get that bald-headed ass, bowling head ass nigga out of here, Corey. Yeah, you better check his ass, man. Show him that Chicago don't play with goof-ass niggas like him. Yeah, I understand. And me being born and raised in Chicago, even though the FBA cronies would call me a tether still. But I'm going to digress from that for now. Look, there's one underlying thing that nobody's talking about here. You want to know why that shit rubbed Corey off the wrong way? Because oftentimes, Corey spent a lot of his time going in on the Hollywood industry. When he would say, these dick and the booty ass motherfuckers right here, y'all in Hollywood, y'all selling y'all soul, y'all doing all this shit for the white man in Hollywood, and I know y'all motherfuckers ain't got no integrity. This is why I don't even deal with y'all motherfuckers down in Hollywood, and this is why I stay at my 515 on show. And I've always had a neutral stance with Corey. I like a lot of things that the brother says, I do. And I've been watching Corey from a bird's eye view since 2014. I've known about Corey since I was a kid, but I didn't really pay much attention to him until I got into my early adulthood. And it was like, oh, it makes sense why you felt some type of way about what he said. It went beyond just the whole being a dick sucker and, just that being flat disrespectful to another man. You spent a lot of your career saying that a lot of dudes out here are sucking dick. So if somebody is saying that to you invertedly, it's nothing but irony. And doing it on your platform makes it even more disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? And all that whole, and another thing too, when Anton said, I'm from Detroit. A lot of times, even when Corey was getting into it with Tommy, what was the first thing that he was saying come out of his mouth? Man, I'm from Chicago, nigga. I'm from the south side of Chicago, nigga. So it's nothing but dramatic irony that a lot of people are not paying attention to. But I've known about Corey for a long time. I followed his 5150 show when Zoe Williams was still around. But that's the underlying thing that I got from it. Now, look, I understand, Corey, when you were saying what you said about Anton and how he kisses the white man's ass, and Anton just proved him right and added credences to his argument when he said, I come in on liberal white women all the time. I say they're the worst thing that happened to America. While I do agree that white liberal women are up there on all the fuck shit and the chaos and the destruction that you see in Black America, and thus even extending to the Black diaspora, but primarily and especially to Black America. Listen up, Anton. I've watched your videos for years, seen you do interviews with people, seen you do interviews with mayors. But you know, even though you've talked to Kwame Kilpatrick, you spoke to Charleston White, and you've had all these people on your platforms, you've had those dating, intersexual dynamics talks, you out there chopping it up with Myron Gaines. I've never heard you say anything about even a white liberal man, let alone just any other pale-skinned individual. And see, that's why it's important to be an objective individual. That's why. Because when you just focus on one aspect, you get blindsided. And, you know, it's an argument that I've heard about how Anton is a person that's getting paid and to say things about black people in America and the black community, and that's why he's at where he's at. And, you know, I don't look at Anton Daniels as some self-made man, even though I believe that that in itself is a myth and a fallacy, because all these so-called self-made men and people who have this high level of success financially, economically, something that y'all don't like to speak about, subtopic, is your success is highly contingent upon your luck. Meaning the family that you were born into, nepotism, and what you know, who knows you, being at the right place at the right times and just making the right moves. What are the odds of all those things coming together, intertwining? So, in the Western world, particularly and especially, it's as if the only way that you can ascend to a certain level is through nepotism, exceptionalism, and often selling your soul. Or as the booty warrior in the Boondocks said, I want that booty. But yeah, let's get to the next topic of conversation. Good old Tucker Carlson and Tariq Nasheed, Marcus Sanders. So, Tucker out there bigging up FBA, I hear, thinking that this is a victory. And Professor Black Truth, I know you were doing your best to do damage control, but in your hearts of hearts and deep down, you knew that this was a bunch of bullshit. This only further proved what Charleston White said when he said FBA is Federal Black Association. To have a CIA affiliate like Tucker Carlson, isn't he supposed to be the white supremacist, Tariq? Isn't he a actual, literal affiliate, agent of white supremacy? But you, being the idiot and the grifter, hoe-ass merchant that you are, you double down by saying hashtag facts, hashtag FBA on X/Twitter. See, if Tariq didn't say shit, then it could have just been like, well, family, I mean, I don't know what you want me to say, family. People, the world is recognizing us as foundational black Americans outside of entertainment, family. We're making strides in the politics, you dig? Nope. You being the fool that you are, you telling yourself. You telling yourself, and you will bank on the idiocy of your subscribers, your fans, your apologists, your sympathizers. And it makes me think about the anime, Boruto, the sequel to Naruto. In Boruto, Next Generation / Tubu Vortex, there is a cyborg, and we're in social media, named Ada. She has an ocular ability to where she has the world spellbound. And no matter if you have all the insurmountable proof, documents, and evidence, none of it matters. People are still going to believe everything that Ada put upon the world of Naruto Boruto, despite all the proof and evidence. There are people who broke out of it and people who aren't fooled by it in the series. And it's similar to Tariq. There are people who don't buy in to all this grifting bullshit and all this divisiveness that he's amplified because, let's be honest and objective, the black diaspora has always had problems prior to Tariq Nasheed. He amplified and made it far worse. Because things that go on in social media eventually permeate in the real world, so to speak. So that's something to keep in mind, everybody. And guess what? It's only a matter of time, Tariq, until you start to shift the grip. I already see it. You think Tariq's going to be talking about FDA by the 2030s when transhumanism and AI is really going to be in full effect? Hey, family, buy this merchandise. I got some AI tools for us family to use. Nope. Because this is the same dude who is out there pimping out foundational Black American women. So we're going to listen to that and we're just going to have the Mandela effect and act like that shit ain't happened? Tariq did not apologize for it. He did not make amends for the things he said, like telling Black men that they need to get in interracial relationships with mixed women who have non-Black mothers. But then again, look at his wife. So I guess he was practicing what he preached in that instant. Now, let's go to you, Suburban Whiny Pete. I peeped that video that your punk ass made about Dessalini's back in October, the tail end of October, where you were saying how Dessalini's was making an argument for Prime Minister, President, what have you, of Cameroon, and saying, as far as I'm concerned, Pan-Africanism hasn't done anything actionable. Then we point him out to Ibrahim Traore. Well, that's just one Black African from Burkina Faso making a move. Then you point out Assimi Goïta. Okay, that's one African down in Mali. Then you point out them of yesteryear when Kwame Nkrumah had a conference and Henry Sylvester also had a conference and even Malcolm was involved. Okay, you had a couple of people, but you said that Pan-Africanism did not do anything actionable. And I'm not even somebody who is a self-proclaimed Pan-African, but we need to be impartial about what we say. And we need to be honest. We need to have veracity when it comes to history, not these fake-ass pro-Black narratives that y'all love to spoon. Because you have an agenda just like the white supremacists that you love to talk about. You know what you show and prove to me, Sarge? That Black folks, regardless if it's a Black American, Black Canadian, Black Caribbean, continental Black African, is very well capable of doing some corrupted, fucked up shit. Yes. So why you out here prancing around, complaining and whining like you usually do, why don't you actually think about the shit that comes out of your mouth? But a person like you, if you were to hear this argument, you would just move the goalpost. Instead of just saying, you know what? Okay, I might have said some things that I just spoke out of turn with, and I wasn't really saying this for all the Pan-Africans. I mean, you point him out to Thomas Sakura. He's just going to move the goalpost because that's what he does. He's an intellectually dishonest, bitch-ass nigga. That's all he's going to do. And trust me, I don't call men out their name, but Sarge isn't a man, so we already established that, and I'm inclined to go on my hate session towards this dude right now. This man spent the last 19 years on YouTube since 2007. My light-skinned Black ass was still a middle schooler when he made YouTube videos and has the nerve to tell Dessalini that he isn't doing anything actionable. Why don't you stay in your little medical room with the white boys down there in Pennsylvania before you run your mouth talking about another Black man? Why don't you go and continue talking about the plight that Black Americans go through tethers, through other Black Americans, through the white supremacists, through the coons? Why don't you continue doing that, Sarge, and still make no difference down there in Philadelphia? Mr. Firearms, Mr. I got all types of ARs and I got types of semi-automatic guns, Mr. I know all the variants of calibers. Why don't you do something for those boys in Philly, or at least try to be the catalyst, like Robert F. Williams. But unlike the legend, Robert F. Williams, unlike the Black man who actually did actionable things, Sarge, you're too much of a pussy and too much of a bitch to make a difference in Philadelphia. And I'm not saying this to sound tough, Because guess what? I would have no problem whether we take this intellectually or whether we take this physically. I'm saying this right now on camera, nigga. It's kind of funny that you even mentioned Chicago, ironically, with the whole whataboutism of white people. Man, Sarge, there's just certain things that I don't even want to hear come out your mouth because you're really just a white boy cosplaying as a black man. Because nobody even has empirical evidence that you're a black man because you hide your face, like Professor Truth, like Jason Lack Authority. Nobody even knows who the fuck you are, nigga. Because you're a coward. You don't stand on business. You do all that tough talking, you do all that armchair activism, but you just stay in a comfortable neighborhood amongst white people. Who that sound like? That sound like your man's Tariq Nasheed, doesn't it? This is why I said, fuck all those niggas. Tariq Nasheed, M.O.R.A.L.E, and you. I said that 10 years ago, and I still stand by that shit now. And you ain't gonna say nothing. You know why? I'm gonna use an analogy that a lot of Chicagoans and cats from LA would understand. Imagine walking into a rival neighborhood, dropping their gang signs, calling them pussy ass niggas, and they don't even fight back. That's pretty much what I did with Sarge when I went into his comment section insulting him. He always wants to smoke with people who he deems as soft targets or those who don't know enough about him, like the good brother Neferkari Dessalines. But he'll never do it with somebody like me, like Quest and Soul, because he's a coward. He picks and chooses his battles, like a light-skinned rapper predator like Aubrey Graham. He's not really with the shit. He ain't really like that. He talks a good game. He loves to say what other brothers aren't doing, but he's been bitching on YouTube for approximately 20 years now, come 2027, which is next year, and has the nerve to talk about how everybody isn't actionable and, you can't argue results. Remember that. So remember next time when it comes to the AES, remember next time if there's a brother in the continent of Africa or within the Caribbean or other black Americans who you don't pay attention to, do stuff that are actionable, report it, Sarge. Put it on your little community tab. Don't sit here and bitch about white supremacy and don't sit here talking about white fatigue all day and pretty much have your outdated ass talking point. Do something, nigga, for once. And still hiding your face. I never want to hear Sarge talk about anybody being a punk because you are the epitome of a coward. You are. You love to talk about what other black men aren't doing. You love to criticize everybody else around you. But then when somebody points the finger at you, oh, he's using a straw man's argument. This is a straw man's argument. He doesn't know what he's talking about. See, guys, this is why I don't take none of these black men seriously. And then, they got the nerve to say foundational. You know that your punk ass wasn't saying no FBA until 2019, 2020. Let's not be disingenuous, Sarge. You're a fucking follower. That's what you are. You are a follower of Tariq. You have become a disciple of Marcus Sanders. But you think that what you're saying is such a unique perspective. It's not, nigga. You're just being Tariq Nasheed's Iago. He is Jafar, and you are Iago. Okay, Suburban Whiny Pete hate session over. See y'all in the future.